Well, good morning and welcome to Unity of Kona. We'll begin our service by saying our affirmation for the month of February. Love is the binding, harmonizing power in the universe. I am filled with love today. I am grateful.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The daily word for Sunday, February 18th, is insight. I trust in my spiritual insight, and I am at peace. Experience can guide me as I deal with any challenges in my life. I appreciate acquired skills and the many ways in which they serve me. Still, at times, a new perspective is needed to take a fresh look for any missed opportunities or solutions. So I learn to rely on my indwelling spiritual insight, my Christ expression, to guide me to the most effective choices I can make. In experiencing oneness with God as source, any fears and challenges of the world are dissolved and alleviated. I am able to find both courage and peace. No proof is needed or even possible for my spiritual insight. I simply trust and I am at peace. When Spirit of Truth comes, he will guide you into all the truth, for he will not speak on his own, but will speak whatever he hears, and he will declare to you the things that are to come. John 16:13. Thank you.
And now let's say this affirmation. I'll say it first, repeat after me. I trust in my spiritual insight, and I am at peace. Together, I trust in my spiritual insight, and I am at peace. And we'll remember that this week of insight. So I invite you to visualize our sanctuary as a beautiful heart. And let's see this heart moving in and around and through each one of us. Moving back into Sunday school with our children there. And allow this heart to be filled with light, filled with love, the caring and compassion that we have for ourselves and each other. And we know in these times, there are many things that need to be prayed for. And so if you know of anyone in need of prayer, we see them in our heart. And you may know of circumstances in your life and in our world in need of prayer, of which there are many. And we hold them in our heart as we say the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And now is our time of centering and prayer and meditation. So I invite you right now to begin this time by just being in this holy moment. And we can do this by just taking a few deep breaths, breathing in deeply, and holding it briefly. And as we exhale, we begin to relax. Right here and right now, we continue breathing and just follow your breath. Breathing and relaxing. Breathing and allowing yourself to be here right now. We know that right here and right now, this is our time of reconnecting with the God of our being, of knowing that there is only one presence and one power active in our lives and in the universe, God the Good. Breathe and relax. Breathe and be here now. In these moments, we know that we are whole and complete, filled with enough love to go around, enough love to fill us and nurture us. We are blessed. And as we allow that spiritual oneness to move through us, we connect with those around us. And we breathe. And we are filled. The time now is a holy season, a season of knowing that we're preparing for this beautiful time of the Easter season, of resurrecting the light and that Christ presence within. And we can do this by releasing and letting go of anything that stands in our way of our oneness. As we go into a time of prayer and healing and reconnecting. If there's any challenge in your life right now, anything that stands in the way of you and your highest self, as we go into that quiet prayer time, let us release it and let it go and be filled in these holy moments of silence. Taking another deep breath, right here and right now. As we exhale, we feel that glorious spirit within. We feel that presence and that power that knows no boundaries. And we accept that we are these magnificent children of God. In these moments, we say thank you, God, for blessing us, for reminding us, and of blessing all those around us, near and far, who are in need of knowing your presence. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. So how's everyone today? Good. Hey, I heard clapping. That was a first. Yeah. I think I better turn these up. I hear echoing. You hear echoing? I should be echoing, right? Yes. Okay. So everybody have their little booklet. Release your divine potential. Just want to be sure if you don't have one. We have a few left. If you don't have one, raise your hand. Fred needs one. JP needs one. Jason needs one. And I think that might be it. There you go. Fred needs one. Diana's coming. Keep your hand up, Fred. There we go. Excellent. Now put them away. No, just joking. This is the first Sunday in Lent. And because Easter is early this year, how many of you know when Easter is? Hey, see, that's exactly what everyone says. So be prepared for something magnificent to happen, because it's April Fool's Day. It's a fabulous day. Also, it's April 1st. And so we'll be, thank you guys. All right. So we're also in the middle of our own loving ourselves and creating a firm foundation of love, because that's what our month of February is dedicated to. And so Ash Wednesday was, Valentine's Day. It's quite interesting that all these celebrations happen on special days this year. And so we're going to put it all together, loving and building a firm foundation, and also this first Sunday in Lent. And so we want to talk about what is Lent. Anyone from your old background in other religions? Nobody has a background in Lent? 40 days, Manuel. Of fasting. Abstinence. That's exactly right. Terry knows. Sacrifice. That's the big word. Introspection. That's a good unity word for Lent. Because most of us learned to sacrifice, didn't we? And what did you do? The most common thing that everybody gave up or sacrificed for Lent. That's exactly it. Because when you're kids, what's the most impressionable thing you can take away from you? That's right. Now kids would say, I don't have my cell phone, but that would be it. Right? Because that's what's a priority. So Unity, we take a little bit of a different take on this. Because yes, we want you to become more introspective during these 40 days. And that's why we create this little booklet to help you learn to release and let go what doesn't serve you. So if chocolate doesn't serve you, then you let it go. Show of hands. Who's going to get rid of chocolate? Just one, and that's Dawn. So don't give her any Easter candy, okay? I guess I should raise my hand that too. But see, what else could you release that's blocking you from your highest good? Worry, thoughts, negative emotions, judgment. What else? Fear. Assumptions. Oh, we already did that last month, didn't we? Don't assume anything. Yeah. Because we do it all the time, don't we? We think we know what's best for someone else, and we absolutely know what you're about. Isn't it true? Until we talk to them and we find out something completely different. So we want to let go of all those things. And so Lent, Charles Fillmore talked about it this way. It's a season of spiritual growth. We can identify and relate to that. It's a time for progressing and folding. Are we ready to do that? Yes. It's a time when we can blend and merge our mind with God mind. It's a time of opening ourselves to the glory of God and to lift us to a higher, purer purpose in a spiritual state. That's what we're about. Aren't we all about doing that every day? We do it through prayer and meditation, kind words, the happy smile we give people that we don't even know, and the happy smile we give those that we love. In 1936, picture this, Charles Fillmore wrote this. Right now, more than ever, we need to be focused on God or a higher power in truly knowing that everything is in divine order, that it's all part of a divine plan. Now we know that what happened this week is very difficult to say it's part of a divine plan. Isn't it? The first thing we think of is like, how could this happen? And I read an article this week too about the events that occurred. Because what did most of the people, the children, the teachers, do when they heard what was happening? They prayed. And now the politically correct or incorrect people are saying we have to eliminate that anyone can pray in school. Now, is that the way it should be? Not in our eyes. And it's very interesting how everything unfolds, because one of my granddaughters lives in Kapolei, and their school got called, someone called and threatened to begin shooting at 9 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning. And so my daughter decided not to let her daughter go to school that day. And I would have done the same. How about you? And so they were told when they called in to report that their child wouldn't be at school, there would be an unexcused absence. Now, you can have judgments about that, but I was like, what? How could it be safe for my child, my grandchild, to be at a school when something potentially could happen? And so when my daughter drove by the school and there were FBI, police everywhere, would you send your child into that environment? Does it feel safe? The minute that we see police at an event like that, our thoughts, are they positive? Usually not. But that's what we're talking about here. Releasing the negative thoughts that will allow us to move forward and connect the highest thought. And that is our challenge this week. So I invite you to not watch the news. Because does it make you happy? No. The things that are happening in our world are not that bring joy to us. So we're going to hang with, look around this room, you're going to hang with these people because they're going to bring you joy in your day. You're going to have connections and insights and experiences that will uplift you. And so as I thought and I prayed a whole lot this week, I'm sure you all did, for the best and highest good for all concerned. And as a parent and a grandparent, all that I could think of were the children and the teachers who tried to protect those students. And so it's very interesting what is happening in our world today to make us awaken to the highest thought. And it's definitely a big challenge. And so what do we do during this time? What's the first thing many of you did when you heard about the events that happened this week? Did anybody cry? I did. That was my first thought. It was like, oh my God, those children. And so we know that things can happen at any moment, at any time. All we have right now is this precious moment in time. And we want to stay connected to that, knowing that there is a higher force, God, Spirit, the universe, however you choose to see it or hold it in your heart. There's another power that's at work that we don't understand, as difficult as it may be. And so if we hold back our judgments, if we turn our thoughts around, that will lead us to a higher place of good. Is it going to take time? Absolutely, because that's what this is about. Time and building a firm foundation in love. So we send our love out to those in need. We send out prayer. We send out those thoughts that can change the world. Because I know if I'm in a negative space, I can spiral down. Any of you do that? If you have those negative thoughts in your mind, what do? They take you and they take you and they take you down. So we need to challenge ourselves. And one thing that's really important to do is to reach out when you're hurting. How many of you do that? Yeah, it's very limited, isn't it? Because Is it hard for us to ask for help? Isn't that interesting? But you would not hesitate to ask anyone here today for something, would you? When you look around this room and you see these like-minded people, filled with spirit, filled with love, we want to move forward. And so that's what all of this is about. Building a firm foundation, staying away from the things that don't serve us. Many of you know when I was diagnosed, it's been a while now, and I'm doing really well. And those very first times and weeks, just the very first day, was very challenging for me. And who wants to hear a diagnosis that says, you may not be here by Christmas? And then that day, and I was sharing this story with someone this week, we all have challenges that help us to grow spiritually. Are they the way we want them to be? I'll tell you flat out, no. Not at all in my life. But have I come to learn that this is a pathway for me? Yes, by the grace of God. It's what I need to be doing at this moment in time, which is allowing myself and allowing all of you to grow in love together. And so my same granddaughter who went to school in Kapolei, did not go to school in Kapolei this week. When I was first, anybody had an MRI? We talked about this before. Yeah, we love them, don't we? Love them. Stan's shaking his head, no we don't. It's like being in a construction site, grinding, pounding. And I thought I was going to lose my hearing. It was so loud. But that particular day when I was going for that first adventure, now I've had 3 or 4 of them. It still isn't easy, but I know I have to do it. So that particular day, my granddaughters put together a little purse for me, and in it were all of these sayings. And so I shared this with you last year, and now I put them on this so I can see them all the time. And so this is Maya, and she's in this big project, and her mom says, "What are you doing there, sweetie?" She goes, "I'm doing something for Grandma." And it was like, let me just do it, and I'll do it. So she wrote all these words, and she cut them out, and she put them in this little purse for me. And the best part is, she put in these Hawaii Electric Light Company POGs. You all know what a POG is? Because she said to me, "Grandma, be energy wise." Grandma, people with a powerful commitment are the people who work for the electric company. And she put here, "Use energy wisely." So her mom said, "Maya, why are you putting there?" She goes, "Because it's about energy." So I've carried these with me. I have them wherever I am, because it's about love and faith in God and inspiration, peace, success, family, joy, happiness, hope, trust, laugh, happy, and smile. And all those things I take with me when I go to have my adventure, which is MRIs and CAT scans. And so I take it with me. I take all the love and support that you have for me in this ministry with me. Am I blessed? Yes. Are you blessed to be walking through this with me? By the grace of God, we're in this together. And fortunately, I'm doing fabulous. So this is what all of this is about. So personally for me, I want to release all the things that block me from my highest good, which are negative thought forms. And so in your booklet, either on the first page or the back page, is a writing by Eric Butterworth. And he was a longtime fabulous Unity minister. And in it he writes that Lent is traditionally a 40-day period of piety and discipline. Do you ever hear those words anymore? We hear the discipline. Do we hear about us being pious? Not often. It may be a sincere commitment to the spiritual life, but it is more often a superficial attempt to assuage the conscience with a show of repentance. However, Lent can be a dynamic experience if it is approached with the will toward honest self-examination, self-discipline, and self-commitment. Consider the metaphysical application. Turn from the simple act of giving things up to a more positive commitment to take up the practice of high-level thinking. Then he goes on to say and explain about what we're about. And in Unity, that is us. And so each day for the next 40 days, and you can begin it on Tuesday, because that'll lead you to Easter Sunday. And in this, each day, you write down something that you want to release. So who can think of something they want to release? Anyone? Judgment. That's a good thing to start with. And so here's the first day in this booklet. I release self-doubt. Anybody have self-doubt? We do. And we affirm, I now surrender feelings of insecurity. Does that sound like something you can do? I want to release the insecure feelings that I might have something dramatic happening in my body, because those fears will take us down. We want to hold the highest thought. So are we going to release self-doubt? And we're going to fill that void with self-love. And that's how we build this firm foundation. So I invite you to take your booklet and use it. And if you don't use it, it's okay too. But these little things help me, remind me every day that I'm on a spiritual path. I don't want to join minds with that collective consciousness that is not about love. I want to join minds with people who are here to love and feel love and give love and support each other, building our firm foundation in truth. Thank you, everyone.